What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Corner to Copa. We are back with another player profile. This time, we are going to be talking about Colt Keith. If you're viewing the visual, you will see him pictured right here. But he is a rookie second baseman. He's 22 years old. He's 6'2", 211 pounds. He hits left-handed and throws right-handed. He signed a pretty big contract in the springtime, 6 years, 28 million. And he's quickly made his way through the system, tearing it up at all levels. And he looks to be a future. They put the money behind him to be a future player on the Detroit Tigers. He is a streaky, soft contact hitter who sprays singles all over the field, but most of his power comes to the pull side. 3 of his 4 home runs this year have been to the pull side. He lacks plate discipline. He's in the 24th percentile as far as chase rate. But despite of that, he is in the 72th percentile as far as his strikeout rate and whiff rate. So he tends to chase, but he doesn't strike out all that often or whiff. Overall, he's below average in most hitting categories, including exit velocity, barrels, and hard hits. But he excels against fastballs. He's hitting 345 average against fastballs and 280 against changeups, but he struggles mightily against breaking balls. That is pretty much the game plan as far as attacking him is a heavy dose of breaking balls. But let's get into his splits. He's hitting 241 against left-handed pitchers. But in a small sample size, only 29 at bats. So at this point, he's being platooned when a left-handed pitcher is starting the game. He's hitting 231 against right-handed pitchers. But he's a pretty good run producer. He's hitting 250 with runners in scoring position and 273 when runners are on. And the Tigers have recently thrown him into the 2-hole quite a bit, and he's hitting 300 in that slot, which is a good slot, which is a good spot to have for a guy that hits fastballs well, especially when the runners are getting on in front of him. A guy like that hits fastballs well and makes good contact, doesn't strike out very often. At the very least, he can get a runner over if he's making some contact. He does not provide much defensively. Like I said, he's a second baseman right now, but there's a chance that he may change positions eventually. He's got a -2 outs above average, which is he has a -2 outs above average range category, and he's in the 14th percentile as far as arm strength. He's had quite a few errors this year, but I mean, he's 6'2", 211, so he's really not built. Physically, he's not your prototypical second baseman. They're usually a lot smaller when you look at Omar Infante and Iglesias and Placido Polanco. Those guys were like 5'10", 180 pounds. So, yeah, especially with Torkelson, especially with Torkelson struggling so much. It almost makes sense to try to transition him, or at least give it a shot at first base. But we'll see how things progress. Obviously, he just signed a big contract, so he's going to be a part of our future. He doesn't hit for much power, so yeah, it's tough to say whether he will project out to be a middle of the lineup guy as he grows and progresses. But it's too early to say right now. He's got 4 home runs. His slugging percentage isn't very high. His OPS isn't very high. He's had a rough April and a rough June, but he had a very hot May. So historically, he has struggled early and had stronger second halves of the year. Even in the AAA rankings and AA rankings, that was the trend. So it's something to pay attention to moving forward. But he's shown enough to give people some optimism that he can break out of the struggles that he's having. Biggest concern being his defense more than his offense. I feel like his offense is going to come around. He's just going to have to find a position that makes sense. But yeah, that's Colt Keith. Please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube, Corner of the Copa on all streaming platforms, and we will have more player profiles coming up. I'm out.